If you do this one thing that I'm about to share with you, your dog training business will transform almost overnight. I only made this change because I had an almighty fallout with my dad. Back in 2012, when I launched my dog training business, I had all the problems that the majority of dog trainers have. I had no money, too few clients, didn't know how I was going to pay the next set of bills, and yet I was working all the hours that God sent. I was struggling so much back then that my dad used to travel over an hour in his car 3 or 4 days a week to help me out. Basically, he was coming to help with the day-to-day things that the business needed so that I could get on with running the business. So, whilst he was outside exercising dogs and cleaning kennels, I'd be inside on the computer running the business. But what I was actually doing was something very different. Facebook wasn't really a thing back then, but what we had was forums. A forum was a bit like Reddit or a dog training group nowadays on Facebook. And so what would happen is dog trainers would pose a question or start a topic off, and other dog trainers would go on and they'd have conversations. Well, I was spending probably 80% of my days on these forums. The main one was a protection dog forum, and I'd be on there giving free help and advice or getting myself into arguments because I believed that I knew everything and everyone else was wrong. Well, this one morning, my dad absolutely blew his top with me. He came inside cold, wet and frustrated because a dog had been messing him around. And he saw me on this forum having these conversations with other dog trainers and he went ballistic. He basically said, I'm outside doing all the hard work and you're doing nothing productive inside. And I had a row back with him. But I said, Dad, I'm talking to these dog trainers, and he went, Matt, not one of those people is going to contribute anything to your life or your business. And for a little while, I thought he was just plain wrong. And then I actually started to think about it and look at it from the outside. And I realized he was absolutely right. I was spending all of my time conversing with other dog trainers when the people that I actually wanted to do business with were dog owners. And as soon as I got that in my head and I stopped going on these forums and talking to dog trainers who were never going to add any business to my life, and I started interacting with the people that I did want to do business with, which were dog owners in my local community, everything changed. In the same way that other dog trainers on the Protection Dog Forum would send me private messages asking me for advice, but they weren't paying me, now dog owners were sending me messages asking for help. And the difference was they would pay me for help. My point here is, as a dog trainer, it's very easy to get stuck in the rut of conversing with other dog trainers because essentially they are our peers. And if you've ever had a job before, you get on with other people that you work with. And so we tend to want to mix with other dog trainers because they understand the struggles we're going through. But as soon as you realize that those dog trainers are actually holding you in a rut because you will believe the things that they believe, and you'll be limited by their mindset, and you get out there and start dealing with the people that you actually want as customers, and you turn your focus to finding out what their problems are and actually solving their problems, your business will go through the roof. Looking back, it was so straightforward, but it took a huge bust up with my dad for me to realize it. My dad's a really switched on guy and he could obviously see it from a mile off, and I imagine he actually got frustrated with me for weeks on end before he finally lost his temper. But I'm so glad that he did, because once I realized that I needed to turn my focus to somewhere else, my business really took off. The reason I'm sharing this one with you is I've just been talking to a dog trainer that I'm helping turn their business around. And I'm asking them to do some very simple but specific things which take diligence and commitment. They're things like following up with their inquiries. None of them are complicated, they just require a little bit of time. And they keep telling me they haven't got time to do it. And yet, then I see them in a Facebook group getting into long drawn out conversations with other dog trainers about the rights and wrongs of positive training versus balanced training. And so the reality of the situation is, it's not that they haven't got time, it's that they're putting their time in the wrong places. They're probably avoiding following up with their clients or their inquiries because it's not something that's enjoyable, and they're getting into arguments because it feeds their ego or furthers their knowledge. Well, whichever way they dress it up, it's not any good, because to run a successful business, there are certain things you must do. So off the back of this video, I'd like you to take a moment to think about where you spend your time and whether there's time that you spend doing things you probably shouldn't be doing that you could put into places where they would be worthwhile. Here at Faith Wolf, we're massively passionate about helping great dog trainers run very successful dog training businesses. We realise that the more you get what you want from your business and your life, the more you will be in a position where you can help dogs and owners get what they need in their lives. If you've found this video useful, maybe it struck a chord with you, please like the video, give it a share, and maybe down in the comments, tell me how great you are, or even make a little confession about where you're spending your time that you probably shouldn't be. I'll see you in the next video.